Well, isn't this fun? Got my lapel mic on and just realized that my pick is way over there. So hopefully the cord is long enough. Okay, it's been a while. You might be wondering why I called this meeting. Well, it's because the 12 string is done. It's been done for a while. In fact, I've been playing it a lot, and some of the strings are already starting to get a little tarnished looking. So it's probably been about a month. I haven't uploaded lately, and so I feel the need to finish this series, even though I was going to show a whole bunch of different deals on putting strings on a 12 string, but it's not much different than a 6 string. If you can do it on a 6 string, you just got to do twice as much of it. The only important things to remember are that the octave goes on top of each set. So other important things are, at least the way that I do it, is I have a tendency to stretch the strings and try to get them to where they're no longer stretching as I go through and put them on. I'm not the type of luthier that will put all the strings on the bridge and leave the uninstalled strings slopped off to the side. I do one string at a time. And that makes it easier for me to, as I'm going from one end to the other, stretch the string in question, the string that I've just put on. So also there is a kind of a breedlove 12 string exclusive situation, or maybe other 12 strings that have the pull through bridge. You can see how neatly the little balls are lined up there, and that's for a reason. It's because that whole line inside here is routed out concave. If you get one in cockeyed, it'll have a tendency to want to work its way into the concave over time, and you'll have a problem tuning any string that has that issue. So with that, this is basically a tuning a 12 string video. So and if you, not very many people own 12 strings. Not very many people are interested in owning 12 strings because they think that it's a tough guitar to play, and it can be, but it is also well worth it. You know, when you hear a G chord or even an E minor, C, D, it just sounds like angels singing. So hopefully with this lapel mic it does. So with that, we're going to get on to some tuning tips for 12 string, even though this is a largely unpopular series that I'm doing here because not very many people own them. But for those that do, you know, if you own a 12 string, you pretty much should be knowing what you're doing already, because it's I don't want to say it's more advanced, but 12 string is typically not a person's first guitar. I'm sure it's happened, but it's typically not a person's first guitar. So, and if you can play a 6 string, you can play a 12 string. So here we go. Let's tune. Okay, I've taken the liberty of detuning, or untuning, or making it sound funky on the E and the A sets. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Okay, I'm not going to show you the picking side. I want to just show you the tuner side. When tuning a 12 string, the way I do it is I do the main string first, which is the strings that would be on a guitar if it were a 6 string. So all the biggest strings, aside the E and the B, all the biggest strings, we're going to start off with the the sixth string set, which is the E, and the main string, not the octave, the main string is, of course, the bigger string, and it is the second tuner down. So that's where I start. And I have my tuners set up on here, as you can see. It's important to have a tuner on it, obviously, because you want to get it to the right pitch. So I'm at E flat, so I went down a ways. So now I'm still flat on the E. I'm getting closer though. Oops, I went a little bit too sharp. Okay, we're there. We're homeward bound. Okay, now what I do next is I check the octave string, and it's at E flat too, so, or sharp of E flat. It's almost E flat. So I want to make sure that where I'm at, whether I'm sharp or flat. And then what I do is I go to the first peg on the E set, and I tune the octave to it. But the first thing I do is I know it's flat, so I have to tune it up, but I listen. You hear that? Hear how it's getting closer. So that wobble and the tone of the notes together. Listen for that. You don't even need to look at the tuner right now. When you get close, you can look at the tuner to fine tune it, and you just pluck on the octave. So you no longer hear that wobble of any kind, it's just straight up. So that means that they're vibrating at the same intervals or whatever. They're not off in their vibration waves. So let's do the A string now. Once again, I'm going to go to the octave, which is these are the E set. This is the A set, which is the third and fourth key down, and I'm going to tune the main string first. I don't think you can see the tuner, but oops. I want to keep the octave out of it for now. Okay, so basically what you're doing when you do this, when you tune that wobble out of it first, you're tuning by ear. It's kind of a good ear training exercise too. I'm going to tune my octave now, so I'm going to come up to the third, which is the octave string of this A set. And you can hear that dissonance again. Hear so we're getting closer. Okay, so we're there. Okay, so we're there. So that's basically how I do it. I go with the main string first, the big string, and then I'm plucking both to bring the octave up to the close to the note, and then I check out my tuner and do the octave individually. And that's about it. But once you get down to the lower two strings, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned in one of the other videos in the series, these are the same, in case I didn't mention it. The two E's are the same gauge, two B's are the same gauge. You don't start getting to different gauges until you get to the G. Can you hear the difference? Okay, let me pluck one at a time. Octave for the G, main for the G. Octave for the B, main for the B. Same exact thing. E, octave, main octave, or main E, first string. So, and it's, so whenever you do a chord, it's almost like not having two strings on there. They sound exactly the same. So one thing you can do is you can take your octave, which would be this one right here. Oops, I'm not even showing it. On the E set. So when I'm tuning down here, I also start with the main, which is the bottom one, and then I go to the octave, but it's a little different. So when you go to the main on the B, it's the next one down. So they count in order instead of going first, second. So you go do this one, this one, this one, this one. When you get to the G, yeah, the G is the first one, and then the G octave is, if you can see that, the last one. So, what you can do is you can take your octave and you can tune it sharp or flat a couple of cents on either or. So it doesn't matter which one you do. And it gives it a little bit more sugar on the high end there, instead of just being straight up and sounding like, see how that has a little bit of a delay there, or whatever you want to call it. So it just gives it a little sugar on the high end here, the first and second string. But that's optional. So anyway, that's it. That finishes up this series. Hope you get something out of this video. Hopefully it helps if you have had trouble tuning your 12 string. It definitely helps me when I go to tune my 12 string. So with that, have a good day.